Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to our BKFC Reddit Ask Me Anything. We're joined by a familiar face of the show, Mr. Cody Vidal. How you doing, sir?
Doing amazing. How's everybody doing today? Hope you're doing good. So let's get it going.
Look, I'm excited for this upcoming Philly thing, but they just announced that $25 million tournament. I know you're a guy who loves to be the giant slayer. You love to be the smaller man fighting the bigger man. Which are you more excited for? I mean, this Philly card is going to be fun, but $15 million purse is going to be awesome for somebody.
One step at a time. One step at a time. Winning July 25th is number one, but it's okay to have your short term and your long term goals racked up. So, July 25th, Maurice Horn and I fight. I defeat him here, July 25th, 2025, at the 2300 Arena in Philadelphia. Then the objective is to fight October 25th in Rome, Italia. And that's to win there. And then hopefully fight sometime December or January for the championship, win the championship at 185, whether that's Josh Dyer, whoever it is, and then enter that tournament for 15 million. 15 million. And I'd be more than happy to donate half of that money to a cause, whether it's putting that money back into BKFC, whether it's spreading that money around to different investments. I'd be more than happy to put that money into something because I know how to make money fucking grow in today's cryptocurrency digital age. And so we'll talk more about that later. But I'm super excited, one step at a time. I don't get ahead of myself. One step at a time, one fight at a time. But short term and long term goals, you got to begin with the end in mind and becoming the face of BKFC and helping it grow. That's my main goal, and that requires me to win and to talk about it. That's why we're here, right?
That's one thing I love about you is like you're somebody who actually admits that there's goals. You know what I mean? Like there's so many fighters like, oh, I whatever the company puts in front of me. You're a guy that says, look, these are my goals. This is what I want to chase down, and you make it happen. And I really like that about you.
I appreciate it. That's like so. Let's look at the guys that we potentially are going to be fighting. I mean, I don't know if Yoel Romero at this age is making 185, but if he makes 185, Mr. Romero, I would love to fight and beat you. And that will happen if we fight. Derek Brunson, he's probably going to be 185. Derek Brunson, I will fight you and I will beat you. Let's do it. So these are the big names. And if you're not chasing big names and fighting, you're never going to be a big name. To be the best, you got to beat the best. And you got to continue to beat the best. So that's the whole goal here. And if anybody's like, oh, you're crazy, well, you fucking are correct because you're only fucking crazy if you're fighting bare knuckle.
Okay, so let's talk about this. You're friends with quite a few fighters. You enter this tournament. There's a good chance you're going to be fighting friends. And because it is a tournament, so like you can't kind of like pick and choose who you're fighting. So I mean, there's a good chance you fight a good friend of yours, Hayes. You know what I mean? Have you guys talked about that, or is that something that like down the line you approach it?
I mean, I love Hayes. I don't think Hayes is going to make 225, but I mean, if he does, if he does, he does. Mickey, I love Mickey. If they make 225, they make 225. But
No, I think
like
it's 185 to 265.
no, I saw it. It's 185 to 225.
Huh.
Yep,
Well,
I could be wrong.
Ben.
I could be wrong, but I
Yeah,
saw
yeah.
that. I
Ben,
think I
ben
saw it more
Rothwell said
Reddit.
he entered. It was no Ben Rothwell said
Oh,
he was going to enter.
okay, whatever, whatever. I mean, it's for $15 million, and it's for a legacy, right? For me, it's like put the money aside. It's like
Sure.
as a fighter, you got to go out there and you got to fight with your sword because you live by the sword and you die by the sword. Sometimes you got to pull an axe out. Sometimes you got to pull your shield out, right? At the end of the day, we're here to fight, kill, and die.
Sure.
A fighter who truly, truly, truly lives to fight and win. There's a quote from the movie Legends of the Fall. Every true warrior searches for his own death. Your job is to be searching for your own death every fight. That's your job. So, with that said, these individuals are massive individuals. These individuals are friends. And I want to talk about friends. My coach and I fought in MMA. He's my best friend. He's my
Okay.
best training partner. I trust him more than anybody. Keith Richardson beat me with a cut in the first BKFC fight. I love that individual. He's fighting here today. I just made a post about him.
I
And
saw
so
that.
it's like I am more comfortable and more trusting of those who are willing to fight me and do fight me than I am of people that aren't, because people that are afraid operate out of fear and they will lie to you, they will cheat you, they will steal from you. So I'm
I
comfortable
love
with
your
fighting
quote about
friends.
like I love your quote about going out on your shield. I talked to Jono Chip Chase, and he goes, I'm looking for that one guy who can actually put me out. He goes, I've yet to find someone who can put me out. And when I do find that guy, then I'll know that I can retire and be happy. He goes, until then, I'm just going to keep looking for these killers, but I've yet to meet my match. And you're the same way. And a lot of people think like, that's crazy. Like, why do you want to fight somebody who can beat you? And it's because it's such a weird feeling, I guess.
Well, it's like it removes any doubt, it removes any desire that you, I guess, would have as an older fighter. For me, going out on my shield doesn't mean getting knocked out, doesn't even necessarily mean losing. Like, you can go out on your shield, winning your final fight, defending the title, and fucking shattering both of your wrists, like my buddy, like my buddy, fucking, oh, sock check, familia, fucking the Mexitalian. Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank right now? It's fucking crazy. You know the Mexican Italian guy from California who fought on the LA card, shattered his wrists. I fucking make posts about him all the time. He's my buddy. I cannot believe
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank on his name right now.
Yeah. It's slipping the tip of my
Famiglia
tongue.
is the last name.
Right. Oh yeah, yeah,
Oh my,
yeah, yeah. Vinny, right? Vinny.
Vinny. Oh my God. I don't know, Vinny. I'm so sorry, dude. Vinny, the CTE's probably kicking in, bro. But I love Vinny Familia. And yeah, man, he went out on a shield that day and he didn't get knocked out. But it's my point is like going out on your shield doesn't necessarily mean you're actually even losing. It means like you're fucking destroying yourself for the cause, for the
Sure.
victory.
Okay, let's talk about the one thing I love about you, and I recently interviewed your guy you're fighting out there in Philadelphia, Reese. You guys are both such super self confident guys. Like both of you have no doubt you're gonna win. Like how do you get that? Like he said, look, you can't vision that you're gonna lose. But I mean, like some fighters say like, oh, no matter what, I'm gonna win. But like it's a pretty the deck is stacked against them. How do you always have that? And I'm not saying that in this card, but how do you always have that? Like no matter what, I'm gonna win.
It's simple. It's very simple choice. It's you must analyze your entire life and see when you were losing or when you weren't achieving your goals or when you were failing. It's all a choice. People make the unconscious decision to fail by simply saying the word try. When you close your eyes and you say the word try, you see yourself failing. But if you close your eyes and see and say I do, I am, you see yourself succeeding. So it's all about training the mind to believe what actually happens inside of yourself before it happens in the outer reality. And so, Conor McGregor talked about this. John Jones talks about this. I believe Fedor Emelianenko in ways talked about this. Rocky Marciano always said, I believe the greatest athletes always find a way to win. I know the greatest athletes create a way to win. That's a better way of saying it. It all comes down to how you program it. All matters is how you program yourself. And so going back to Maurice, you say he's confident all you want to, but in that first fight that he had, his eyes were bouncing around a lot. And that's no
Sure.
offense to him. That is a telltale sign of body language. His eyes were bouncing around a lot. He got his head bounced around a lot in that fight. And I'm just gonna say this: his opponent did not follow up properly. He was a shorter guy than Maurice. He was fighting southpaw against southpaw, and as a shorter guy, he's standing outside with a Philly shell. I'm talking about his opponent was standing on the outside with a
Sure.
Philly shell, hands down here at range, at a fucking far range as a shorter guy. Of course he's gonna get cracked, you know, and he got cracked for it, and that's a fatal error. Does Cody Vidal stand on the fucking outside and fight like a long fighter?
No.
No. Does Cody Vidal's eyes bounce around? No. They're fixated on you the entire time. I'm looking through your fucking soul and I'm claiming your soul. That's how I know I win. Now, if the judges want to go ahead and give it a draw like they did to Brandon Conley, fair enough. But that's not going to get my spirits down.
Were you at all surprised they didn't try to run you and Brandon Conley back? Like, I mean, from a draw,
Not
and
when
he's
fucking Brandon Conley runs away from the rematch.
right. Okay, that's. I wasn't sure if they offered you guys a rematch or not.
Well, I posted two videos about it, and he jumped on the comment section and denied the rematch, said let it go. And it's like, you know, I'm not one to sit here and mock people and disrespect them because I quite frankly hate those people. But you know what was
Sure.
funny to me is, as a hypnotherapist, as a mental coach, people's insecurities are loud. Not saying my insecurities have never been loud. Typically, if somebody feels a certain way inside, they replicate the opposite type of behavior, right? If somebody's extremely doubtful, they act extremely confident, typically, right?
Sure.
So the point about this is he comes out, Brandon Conley comes out to the song by Tom Petty, Won't Back Down. But if you look at every one of his fucking fights, if anybody engages an attack on him, he backs straight the fuck up. That's backing down. And if you look at his fight against me, he was bending over and falling over the ground to avoid actually getting knocked out. So if you just take those facts, those elements, right, of his previous fights and my fight, and you add it all together, it makes sense as to why he doesn't want to fight me again.
Sure. I know I know it's very important for you to fight on this upcoming Philly card because you're from there. How is ticket sales going? I mean, you got quite the I love the flex. Do you have quite a bit of fans going?
Honestly, man, the place is only 2,000 individual, like 2,000 people could fit in there. So by the time they
Sure.
fucking even announce the fight, by the time they even announce the fight, the tickets are like pretty much sold out. And then they have like, I'm not going to talk about ticket prices or anything like that. That's BKFC's deal. But um, my objective is to show up, to fight, to win. I'm still early in my career. I'm still early in my age,
Sure.
36, right? My objective is to show up to win, and it's to advertise BKFC by advertising this character that I am, and like they say in Angels in the Outfield, that movie, it's Angels in the Outfield. If you build it, they will come.
Field of Dreams or Angels in the Outfield?
That's what it is.
I believe it's Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner where he builds it and they
Yeah,
come.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So like we're talking about Philly, right? We're
Sure.
not fighting in the Flyers stadium. We're fighting in
Sure.
2300. But in the middle of the Flyers stadium, what is it? The Wells Fargo Center, I believe they have this emblem right there, Yingling beer. Yingling is the
Right.
oldest brewery in America. I grew up across the street from the Yingling Brewery in Pottsville, Pennsylvania. And so I like to rep this for a reason. It's not necessarily that I even drink beer because I don't really. It's not necessarily that I would even rep alcohol. But the first time I got drunk, I was 3 years old. It was under my grandmother's table at Christmas. We were drinking Yingling Premium out of a 32-ounce bottle. They don't do 40s, they did 32 ounces. And yeah, with that said, Yingling is we had a lot of good times in Yinglings. I beat a lot of people up on Yingling. So I like to rep them.
I know Dave said they're actually looking at going back in the fall to the big Wells Fargo arena. Is that something that interests you, or you get a fight in front of your Philly friends and you're ready to move on to something else?
Fight in front of the Philly fans and then fight in Rome, Italy, in October 25th would be absolutely spectacular. I have unfinished business in Italy. My last trip in Italy was bittersweet. So going out there and knocking somebody out and then making my way to the championship, 185-pound championship, that's what really entices me. So yeah, let's do that.
Okay, so we saw Josh Dyer recently win the 185 belt. It's weird because he's already talking about either going down to 75 and fighting Mundell, or he really wants to fight Mike Perry. You're not hearing a whole bunch about like Jared Warren or Joe or anybody else in the top five. What's it going to take for you to get that title fight against Josh?
Well, where there's silence, there's opportunity, right? And the 185
Sure,
pound division sounds very silent. And honestly, all the weight classes in BKFC seem pretty silent. I mean, at heavyweight you have Hayes. Like I hypnotize Hayes twice now. I absolutely love Hayes. Hayes is a character. You want that guy to be the
sure,
champion. But then they have Perdomo, they have Ben Rothwell, they still have Mick, love Mick, right? They're gonna fill that heavyweight weight class up, and they need to do that with characters. But they need to put the microphone. BKFC need to put the microphone in front of people more. They need to have film crews following these individuals around like the UFC does, embedded. And maybe we need to do like a monthly or like quarterly event like we just did 2 days ago or whatever it was, where we get everybody
sure,
together and we just let the fucking chaos ensue, right? Like this is like you get Conor McGregor, who's not even fighting the BKFC, and he gets on the microphone. He's one of the owners of BKFC, and he executes a fucking perfect fucking speech. You
Sure.
don't see anybody else in BKFC doing that. You see King Kai walking around with his mustache and his suit on. He's on the microphone, but nothing he says is actually very exciting. So, you know, that's what it is, right? Lorenzo Hunt, he's extremely exciting, but he's out of the limelight for a couple different reasons. And no disrespect to him, but Lorenzo Hunt's somebody that I would love to fight on the way to the 185-pound title. And when I am the 185-pound champion, is to give him that shot when he's ready, because I respect Lorenzo Hunt. So, and because I know Lorenzo Hunt, pound for pound, is the best when he's on it. But you talk about Mundell, like Mundell is fucking phenomenal. He's phenomenal. He's
Sure.
phenomenal. I love Mundell. So Mundell, you're watching this. I love you, brother. You're doing an amazing job. But Mundell lacks what I have. And people will say, well, we're not here to talk. We're here to fight. We're here to win. Yo, I get that. I was always one of those guys.
Sure.
But when your boss, Dave Feldman, looks you in the eyes and says, I think you could do two things better. I think you could take greater risks, because I know you can box anybody up. You've proved that. You can box anybody up 5 rounds, right? But can you swing for the fences and fucking get some fucking million fucking views on a clip? And I'm like, yes, sir. And he's like, okay, can you talk more shit? I know you're humble. I like that, but can you talk more shit? Yes, sir. It's not that I'm sitting here and I'm acting out of character. It just means I'm being more vocal. And if these fighters just become more vocal and more interesting by being themselves and not being fucking scared of the fucking, like a deer in headlights, as long as you open up, people are going to listen to you and people are going to like you. We're young in this sport. Guys, open your mouths. Girls, open your mouths. Bret Hart, I made a post about Bret Hart the other day about how people don't remember what you say. People don't remember what you do. People remember the way you make them feel. And I tagged her in it, and
Sure.
and she fucking loved it, right? People need to be like a Bret Hart. They need to be vocal. That's it. Just vocalize who you are as a fighter, as a warrior, as a champion, and people will listen to you.
It's interesting. They did that press conference, and sometimes when they make announcements like, "Oh, we have a big announcement," it doesn't live up to the hype. But Conor McGregor was so fired up. Dave was so fired up. Like, when the owners of the company are so fired up, and they announced so many great things, and I'm really excited. And it really makes me excited to see what the future has for BKFC.
To see Dave on stage with Conor there, and to see Dave cracking a smile, see Yoel Romero there, yeah, fucking Mike Perry, yeah, fucking
Yeah.
Conor McGregor. Who else is on stage that is worth mentioning? You had those people just fucking lighting up the room. Could you imagine after like 2 or 3 more wins, or even me with the championship around my waist? You have Conor McGregor, you have Mike Perry, who Mike Perry and I, like, we've sent friendly messages and we've sent fucking unfriendly messages to each other. Could you imagine the kind of friction in the air with 3 guys with ADHD on microphones? You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
I know how to fucking keep the dialogue going. I'll tell you that. I know how to fucking shift the energy and raise that energy higher than ever before. I'll tell you that. So BKFC, I'm telling you here right now, whether you fucking like me or you don't, get me more exposure. Whoa, make yourself get that exposure. I am right fucking now. I'm telling you. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. Give me the fucking microphone.
The one thing that I like, I watch Brian Socia's show every Tuesday. I love that you get so many mentions. Like, you're going out of your way to kind of get views and kind of drive. You do the different personas and stuff, and you can also back it up with your fists. So I like that you're multifaceted. You're a funny
I'm
guy.
getting
You're a
mentions.
smart guy. Yeah.
When was the
He
last
he
mention
talks about
besides
like
Italy?
no, like they post some of your like wrestling things that you do and like your little character. Like, yeah, he absolutely posts those.
I know he posted the Ultimate Warrior one time, and I know he posted the singing Sweet Caroline in Italy, but I haven't recognized anything outside of that.
No,
So
he talked about your Macho Man. He said that you're one of the favorite guys that he loves to see what you post all the time because it's always something new and fun.
okay, so let me tell you this. Brian, you fucking jabroni. I message you all the time on Instagram. Here you are talking about me, but you're not talking to me. Get me on the show. Look, I'm coming into fucking Philly on Monday. Okay, next Monday I'm coming to Philly. The fight's Friday. Your show's Tuesday. Get Johnny Garb and I on the show at the same time live. Johnny Garb and I on the show at the same time live. We're the fucking Thrilly from Philly. All right. We're the fucking tag teams between 185 and 175. Johnny Garb, Mr. Cannoli, Cody Vidal. I don't give a fuck about a nickname. These guys, I love this guy. I love Johnny. And taking over the titles from there, like, I'm just going to tell you this, right? Here's a plan I have. This is actually a plan I have. I coach a fighter at 165. I mentally coach him at
Okay.
165. Then there's Johnny at 175, who's going to be the champion. Then there's me at 185, who's already the champion here, and I'm going to be champion. Then we got 205, Chris Camozzi. I love Chris Camozzi. I talk to him a lot. And then we have the heavyweight division, which I want Hayes to win, right? What's the point? I hypnotized Hayes. I coached Hayes twice already. Okay, I'll continue to do so. I love Hayes. I want him to be the champion. At 165, who is headlining the Philly card?
Dustin Peg?
Who's headlining? Peg and
Man,
Ryan Ryu Peterson.
Yeah, right.
That's 165, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Ryan Ryu Peterson. I did hypnotherapy on him a couple times. Okay. I'm getting him ready
Okay.
to take over that championship at 165. So my point is about this. Imagine me winning the fucking championship, but also the guys that I coach win the championships from 165 up to fucking heavyweight. Be something
Right.
nobody ever has done before, right? Well, hey, all reality starts off as a delusion in your mind first. So hey, be delusional. I don't even know what your question
I think
was.
it's cool that you're. Let's talk about this Johnny Garb. Like, how did you guys become friends? It does seem like you guys are like you guys are two peas in the pod. I've never talked to him, but like, I mean, how is he? Is he a good guy? Like, tell me about Johnny Garb.
Johnny Garbarino is your classic Italian family guy, all right? You can tell he loves his woman. You can tell he loves his family. You can tell he loves tradition. You can tell that every time he cooks, he's putting his fucking soul into it, right? How can you not love a guy like that? And he's from Philly, embodying the Rocky Balboa spirit, which, if you look at it, is the Rocky Marciano spirit. Rocky Marciano was Italian from the Brockton. He's a Brockton blockbuster. He was Italian, and his mom was a devout Catholic, and his mom would always go to church with a rosary and pray for every one of his fights, and he won 49 of them and lost 0. So the point about this is Johnny Garb is a loyal guy, and I love loyalty. I don't know Johnny very, very, very deeply, but I can look at him and be like, hey, if I'm gonna go to war, I know that guy's gonna be by my side, firing punches, helping me win. So I see individuals like that. I recognize recognizes real, and you got 2 options in life. Well, 3 options, right? One of the options is you could just not focus on this individual at all, right? When you meet somebody, you can just choose not to focus on them. But when you focus on an individual who is strong in all ways, you could either be like a fucking loser and be jealous of them and envious, or you could feed off of them and feed them, right? I want to talk about magnetism here, brother. I want to talk about attraction. What is attraction? The law of attraction, right? The law of magnetism states that if you take a battery that is strong, not a battery, a magnet that is strong, you take a weaker magnet and you put them close together, the weaker magnet steals the energy from the strong magnet.
Okay.
Okay?
Sure.
So that's opposites attracting if you think about it. But if you take 2 people who are strong magnets and you put them together, their magnetisms are feeding off of each other. Right?
Right.
That's how I view Johnny. That's how I view a Hayes Heppy. That's how I view a Ryu Peterson, right? That's how I view a Chris Camozzi. That's how I view a Mundell.
Okay.
I view these individuals as, hey, these people are great, and I could feed off the energy and give them the energy and help them too, because to take without giving is asinine. It doesn't work. It doesn't go with the law of reality. The laws of reality is what you're taking, you got to give it back tenfold, and when you give it back tenfold, it comes back 100-fold. That's just the abundance mindset that I have, and I know how reality works, and so I know how to get what I want just by thought alone. So yeah, I love Johnny Garb. I think Johnny Garb's a great guy, and I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna clip this. Brian Sosha, look me in my ojos. That's eyeballs in Spanish. I'm gonna be there Monday before the fight in Philly, July 25th. Get Johnny Garb and I on your show live. Bring Dave Feldman. Let's eat some cannolis. I'll fucking let Johnny Garb smash me with a cannoli in the face on live camera. Let's get some viewers. Let's get some eyes on BKFC that are not on BKFC yet. Let's party.
You know, one of the things that I love is how polarizing you know, you talk about the magnetism. It's funny, like they did the press conference and Connor was going and doing his thing, Mike Perry was doing his thing. It's amazing how many new fans, like people that are, you know, UFC guys, they see those two guys up on the press conference and suddenly, oh, I'm kind of interested in this. And I can't wait till a guy like yourself, you know, like suddenly you draw in more fans. Like I love to see this thing getting built from the ground up.
Exactly, man. And that's one of the most exciting aspects about it. It's like, I don't know if you ever seen a baby born. I don't know if you ever seen a
Sure.
baby born, but when my son was born and he opened his eyes, I know you can't see as a baby, everything's blurry, but we made direct eye contact. And when I looked into his eyes, I said, "Oh my God, God, you see me. I see you." Right? You see your own child born. That's the greatest day of your life if you're a good parent.
Right.
And it's kind of the same feeling. It's like BKFC, Dave, Uncle Dave, I call him Uncle Dave. You have Uncle Dana. Dana, 60 G's, baby! Dana! Fuck Dana White. Uncle Davey!
Right.
15 million, baby! Fucking go! I'll donate 50% of that 15 million, 7.5, directly back into BKFC, guaranteed, because I'm not greedy. I'm here to grow the show. I'm here to flow and go, 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 go. And you can't spell God without go, right? So you put the D at the end and you make it fucking dominant. And that's exactly what we're going to do here with BKFC. We're going to make BKFC the most dominant combat fucking sport. And it's gonna bleed in all other areas too. It's gonna bleed into hockey, right?
Sure.
The bare knuckle MMA is inevitable. Okay,
Sure.
bare knuckle MMA is inevitable, and I want to help pioneer that. I want to fight in that. I want to be the champion of that. I want to pioneer that. There's so much on the table because Dave Feldman decided to take his dream and make it a reality. And without Dave Feldman doing that, we wouldn't fucking be here. So thank you, Dave. Mr. Feldman, thank you. Now, with all that said, you're talking about, Conor McGregor. You're talking about the cabbie hat fucking, the gypsies. We got to give the gypsies the credit that they deserve. Those gypsies out there in England, Ireland, fucking Wales, Scotland, right? That's the spirit. That's the spirit where this comes from. I need $50 in a care of his mom. What did he say, Tommy? I think he said he needs $50 in a care of his mom. He had $50 in a care of his mom. Fucking pikeys. The movie Snatch. Like, watch the movie Snatch. It's all about
Okay.
gypsies, right? BKFC is
Sure.
professional gypsyism. It's like, what better way to make a living for a fighter than to go around and placing bets and fighting other people, fighting other fighters, and making the fucking money? Living a lifestyle like that. What better way for a fighter? There isn't. So thank you, Dave. Let's grow this.
I think the fight that a lot of people want to see. I know they said that, you know, BK or UFC is going to the White House. If you could do Conor McGregor versus Mike Perry in a bare knuckle MMA fight, you know, and kind of cross, you know, because Conor still is under UFC contract, but if you could send BKFC's guy to fight the UFC guy in a bare knuckle MMA fight on the White House grounds, I think it'd be record breaking.
Definitely be record breaking. Would definitely be record breaking. And it keeps reminding me of the silence that I'm talking about. The silence. The silence. Look, Josh Dyer is talking about affirmations. Josh Dyer is talking very positively. He's smiling. Josh Dyer's a good-looking guy. Got a
Yeah.
great smile. He's tall. He's got a fucking long ass, thick ass neck with a big ass Adam's apple. He's a manly guy, right?
Right.
That's a poster boy for a champion, right? But I'm still more exciting than him. And I still know I hit harder than him. And I still know I'm tougher than him. And I still know I'm just better than him in all those areas. And that's no disrespect to Josh. I'm feeding off of his energy. I'm watching him win. And it's like, to be the best, you got to beat the best. Right now, he's the best. And I'm acknowledging that with all due respect. Josh, if you still have the championship, I will take it from you here very, very soon. Till then, let's make some noise, brother. Let's make some fucking noise. You know what I mean?
Oh, you froze for a second.
White House! White House! Where we freeze at?
You said, Josh, let's make some noise, and then you got close to the camera and it froze. But I got a good picture of your face.
I didn't freeze. My brain just shut off for a couple seconds.
You're
The
good.
video didn't freeze. Yeah.
Is
So go on.
no, please continue.
No, please ask me questions because I'm just you off on fucking tangents here.
No. So, I mean, fighting in front of the White House. We see that President Trump goes to the UFC things. Connor's friends with the president. When is Connor going to bring the president to BKFC? That's what I want to know.
I don't know. I'll tell you a better one.
Go ahead.
Why don't we fucking have a fight, right? Let's do fucking put me up against the biggest killer in front of the White House, right? And if I beat them, Donald Trump has to release the Epstein files that no longer exist.
It's yeah, we can't get into that, but man, like it's so weird that it was like I saw the files and it's like there is no files now. Like it's I don't know.
We're not supposed to get political with BKFC. That's in our contracts. I'm not going to get political, but all I got to say is I told y'all so. I know a lot of information. I've known it for well over 7-8 years. I knew about COVID before COVID happened. I knew about how XRP was going to be the one world currency, and it's coming out of the lawsuit right now. You're about to see World War III kick the fuck off. A lot of people are going to die. A lot of fucking money. A lot of financial systems are going to switch. It's crazy. The Great Reset's going to happen. And you know what? It reminds me of Cinderella Man, the movie Cinderella Man, when the Great Depression comes and you're either going to be a man working a slave trade or you're going to be fucking fighting for money. And it just so happens to be that I own my own business helping people, and I own my own bit, and I work for Dave's business fighting people. And so, let's stay out of the politics of it, but fighting at the White House, you mentioned White House, it would be a great honor to fight at the White House. Even though I fight on the main cards nowadays, I would love to be the fucking preliminary fight, the very first fight for that night. It was the first fight in California state history. So why not be the first fight at the White House? That'd be awesome.
We're hearing quite a bit like, oh, I can't believe this fighter's fighting on the prelim, or this fighter should be higher up on the card. Does that matter to you fighters? Like I've talked to some guys and they say, look, I just want to fight, and then other guys are like, I'm a main eventer. If say you're not the main event, does it matter where you're at on the card if you're not the main event?
Yes and no. Yes, it well, no, it doesn't matter because you should be grateful no matter what your position is on the card. Unless you're Conor McGregor, unless you're Mike Perry, just shut the fuck up, right?
Sure.
Or unless you're Cody Vidal,
Yeah.
But I shouldn't say shut the fuck up. No, you should open your mouth, and that's where the yes is. It's like if you know your value before other people know your value, speak up. If you know your value, like seriously, fighters. Look, I'm a very kind and loving person, and I know I said nice guys gone and everything like that. But here's some advice. It's free. Know your fucking worth. Know your worth, and talk about it. Because your voice is your choice, and when you speak, your choice is being heard. It's being felt. But if you keep your fucking voice suppressed, you're keeping your choice suppressed, and you just don't get what you want in life. You just don't do it. I'm not saying you have to go out and tell the entire world. I'm not saying you need to be arrogant about it, but know your worth. Know that your voice is your choice and use your voice. So that's my advice to anybody in life in general is if you want to create the reality that you want to live in, it starts in here and you got to speak it. Connor says, if you can see it in here and you can feel it and speak it, it'll happen.
Let's give you a free business plug. You talked about coaching Ryu. You talked about coaching Hayes. If a fighter, Joe Blow, random guy, just came into BKFC, wants to get better mentally, they reach out to you. Kind of walk us through like what somebody who you decide to help coach, what they do or what you do for them.
The acoustics on that are okay. So what I do is it first and foremost looks like I'm fucking crazy, sounds like I'm crazy, and you know what? Fellas like Nikola Tesla, who made these books a reality, 369 method, right? These men are geniuses. And yes, they were crazy. If you say the word genius, it's the genie in us. What is a genie? Well, let's say the word imagination or imagine. Imagine. Imagine says, I'm a genie. Where does the word genie come from? Genie comes from the Middle Eastern word jinn. Jinn means spirit. So when you say imagine, you're saying, I am a spirit. Did you know that God, Yahweh is his name? That's how you say it. Doesn't matter if you're Jewish, doesn't matter if you're Muslim, it doesn't matter if you're Christ. You believe in the God of Abraham, you believe in the Creator, and his name is Yahweh. Yahweh. And did you know that Yahweh means I am who I am? And did you know that he named his son Yeshua? And Yeshua means the salvation of Yahweh. And did you know that his name Yeshua was translated into Greek and then into French as Jesus? Jesus means I am. So when you say the word imagine, you're honoring God without realizing it. You're saying, I am a spirit. The
Okay.
man that gave you a spirit. There's no other creature in this world. No other creature in this world that has an imagination. There's no other creature in this world that has the imagination we have. There's no other creature in this world that says, I am a spirit, because there's no other creature that was given the spirit that we were given. And so if you are an individual who wants to maximize your full potential physically, mentally, and spiritually, it starts spiritually, then mentally, then physically. Why? Well, what's in the middle of the spirit? What's in the middle of the spirit and the body? Your mind. Mind means middle. Media means middle. Why do you think media means middle? Why do you think they call it media? Because they are in the middle of you, your soul, and reality. You, the imagination, and reality. And when they pump fear into you, what happens is you create fear-based belief systems, and then you worship those fear-based belief systems for the rest of your life, which is worshiping evil. Because when you're afraid, you feel all the negative emotions, guilt, anger, sadness, hurt. You operate from them. You think you're not good enough. You think you're not smart enough. You think you're not strong enough. You think you're not deserving of love, of happiness. And then that eats away at you. And look, fighters, I'm talking to you. There are four main trauma responses, y'all. There are four main trauma responses that we all have endured some point in our life: fight, flight, freeze, fawn. Fight is attack. Okay, you get scared, you attack. Flight, you get scared, you run away. Freeze, you get scared, you shut down. Fawn, you get scared and you surrender. Okay? Those are the four trauma responses. We fighters, at some point when we were young, we were hurt. And we said, enough. Mike Tyson talks about this. Enough. And you take that fear and you become the fear. You become the purveyor of that fear, the creator of that fear. And fear is like fire. Anger is like fire. You could either control it and make it work for you, or if you don't control it, it will burn you. By controlling the fire as fighters, we execute and we burn our target. We win what we want to win. And it all starts within. Win from within. You can't spell the word win without the word in. So you got to close your eyes. You got to take a deep breath in, which, by the way, spirit means breath. And when you take a deep breath in, consciously, you inspire yourself. You breathe life into yourself. And when you do this, seriously, when you all close your eyes, you take a couple deep breaths in, and you start to use that imagination, you start to see the reality that you want to create. And when you do that, you start to feel a little bit calm, maybe a lot of calm. You start to feel confident. And confidence is self-trust. And when you trust yourself, you start to control yourself better. You start to control your thoughts. By controlling your thoughts, you control your emotions. By controlling your emotions, you control your actions. By controlling your actions, you control your results. Victory, success, health, wealth, happiness. And when you feel what I'm talking about, DM me. All my consultations are free. I'll give you a free consultation. Now, if you're in a weight class and you're trying to fight me, go fuck yourself.
Okay, so let's talk though the mental. I mean, like, is it one of those things like, is it one of those like training, like, hey, look, you're gonna have to do several classes, or people see results immediately? You know, I mean, you can't give you clearly see results immediately, but you also probably don't want to give everything away for free the first time. Like, is it several sessions? Like, how exactly does training with you line up?
Just sign up an individual after a consultation. Okay, this guy's got a lot of money. He's actually 7 points away from being a genius, right? And he's in real estate. He lives in Big Bear, California. Okay, he had a very fucking hard childhood. And since I'm not saying any names, it's okay for me to give out some details. Um, I didn't know this about him, but I'll just say this. Okay, after our first paid session, for a whole week, he was texting me, telling me, I cannot believe I'm not sad anymore. I don't have my children anymore. I'm
Oh
fighting
wow.
a 2.5 year divorce to get my children back. I he's saying my mother is dying. of terminal illness and I have all this money, but every day I wake up and I have to face reality that I don't have my kids, I don't have my wife, and I'm not going to have my mom. All the great women in his life that he loves or once loved are leaving him.
Right.
Think about what feminine energy really is. I mean, real good feminine energy. It's love, man. It's peace. It's comfort. It's joy. When a woman loves you, whether it's your mom, and I know this a little bit, but when your mom loves you, when your sister loves you, when your wife loves you, when your daughter loves you, and they just say your name or they give you a hug, you feel like all this fighting, all this violence, all this fucking anger, this aggression, you feel like all this work that you've done your whole life, it matters. You take guys like Dan Bilzerian, take guys like Andrew Tate, and some friends I know, and these people have had sex with hundreds, if not thousands, of women, and then they finally have the epiphany, like, none of that matters. I want a best friend, because that's what God designed us to be, designed us to have that best friend. So it's like, when you're talking about what I do, I help people heal first and foremost. I help people improve, and I help people perform better than ever before, which helps them prosper. Hypnotherapy, right? Heal, improve, perform. And this individual, extremely, extremely happy, saying he doesn't feel sadness anymore. He's not walking around bursting into tears randomly. He's more productive than ever before. And we've only had 2 private sessions so far. Now, after this last session, he's really fucking angry because we went back to a memory where his mother was hurt and where he was hurt. And and now I told him, I'm like, oh, you're gonna have to feed on that anger for a week before we do another session. But let's reframe your anger here. Let's refocus your anger. So I asked him, I said, hey, you're not feeling sadness anymore. So are you procrastinating anymore? Because his sadness was causing the procrastination. He said, oh no, I'm getting everything done. I said, so your anger has a purpose then, right? He goes, yeah. I go, so next week when we do our next session, we're gonna let go of the anger and we're gonna take the lessons from the anger and we're gonna use that energy that the anger gives you. We're gonna use the lessons and we're gonna channel it into more productivity. So now that you're productive while remaining happy. So going back to your question is, yeah, I could change your life in one session. A consultation is not going to give you all your desired results, but it's going to open your mind. It's going to make you realize change is real. Most people, brother, you included, everybody unconsciously or subconsciously thinks in one way or another that they're not good enough. So what the fuck happens when you make the brain realize you are? You remember when Russell Wilson beat the Denver Broncos, and I mean beat the fuck out of them in the Super Bowl?
I do.
Denver Broncos were my favorite team at that point. Afterwards, I had to have some second thoughts. But Russell Wilson said, all throughout life, people say, why me? Why me? Victim mentality, why me? He goes, you know what my dad always taught me? Why not you? Why not me? You know? I tell everybody I'm already the BKFC champion at 185. Why not?
Sure.
Why not? Whoa, shut the fuck up. You don't live my life. You're not in my brain. You don't have to wake up every day with the fucking pain I have in my body and the fucking thoughts I have and the emotions I feel. You know? Most people think they're not good enough. Here's why, brother. Because you're not. You're not good enough for your own fucking standards. You're not good enough for God's standards. That's why he sent Christ down here to show you how to live. Whether you believe that or not, that's on you. But the point about this, let's push any kind of theology out the window. No one is good enough because no one is perfect. And we all want perfection. And as soon as we human beings find perfection, we're going to go, I want more.
Of course. Yeah.
It's in our nature to want more. So, yes, to answer your question, is I offer a free consultation to business owners, entrepreneurs, sales professionals, and professional athletes to not talk about it, but to fucking show you that not only is hypnosis real, hypnosis means to sleep. So if you're alive, you're gonna sleep, you're hypnotized. But not only to show you, but look, to show you what on that consultation you're going to discover what your negative belief system is, your fear-based belief system, and you're going to discover how you have unconsciously been fucking failing yourself your entire life, and it has always been an unconscious choice. And when you bring the unconscious, the darkness to light, it is seen, and when it is seen, it is felt, and when it is seen and felt, it can be changed. So if you want to change your life, you got to change your mind. Book
One of
now.
my favorite things
Publications.
about you one of my favorite things about you is like I love seeing your visions come true. I love talking to you and then seeing, the results. So I'm looking forward to in 2 weeks seeing how this goes and seeing, all right, I got past Horn. Now I'm on my way to Italy. And I want to continue to see like the improvements and the growth and everything going your way. Like you're such a likable guy, you're such a nice guy. You take time for everybody. I love that you do your free, you do lots of lives, you talk to everybody, you try to help everybody who stops in. Like there, I can't say anything bad about you. Like you're just such a good dude.
You can tell me I'm annoying. I know I am.
You're a little loud, but that's, I mean,
But I am a good person. Yeah. I know how to turn
absolutely.
it on and I know how to turn it off. And sometimes it's just a friendly reminder from someone that cares. And I love when someone cares about me enough to tell me the truth. So if someone's like, hey, man, you're a good guy, but your energy is fucking overwhelming right now, I get it. But if it's somebody that I don't know and they're being rude about it, I'll get louder until they make a move. And the second they flinch, they're already fucking waking up on a gurney. So.
Well, I just wanted to say thank you. You joined the Reddit. You're active on the Reddit. I appreciate. I love that we're getting so many fighters. We got Kamosi, we got Austin Trout, we got you. Like there's some other ones. I love to see, and the fans like it. I feel like it's. I mean, look, YouTube's a very toxic place. Instagram can be kind of toxic. For the most part, the Reddit so far is still a pretty. I like to say that's where the intelligent fans are, and so like I said, I appreciate you coming in and talk to us, sir.
Hey, you're very welcome. And you know what? Mentioning Chris Camozzi again, I have these visions pop up in my head randomly. I really love Chris. I think Chris is the most handsome guy in BKFC. No homo, all bromo. Okay? And what I mean by that is he's tall, he's got dark hair, he's got blue, azul ojos like me. He's got a beautiful smile. He's got a beautiful wife. They're a power couple. They market themselves really well. Chris fought in the UFC. Chris has never been finished, to my knowledge. He's never been finished on the feet. Chris is always game for a great fight. He's a 205-pound champion. He's the best in that division. I love Chris, right? And like we're expanding. BKFC is expanding around the world. We have, English champions, European champions. We're gonna have Asian champions. We're gonna have Middle Eastern champions. We're gonna have fucking probably Eurasia, Russian champions. Shout out to Alex the Terrible. Great job, brother. I think you still won that fight, regardless of the decision. But point about this is that let's make Team fucking America right here, right now, Chris. I asked Chris to walk me out to my fight in Philly because he's probably going to be there. Having the 205
I think
pound
he is.
champion with my coach, Tyler Smith, Moy Tyler Smith, in the corner, it's going to be pretty fucking awesome, right? So I'm looking at Team America as I'm the future 185-pound champ. Chris is the 205-pound champ. Garbarina's the future 175-pound champ, right? Like, when there's an Italy card, send us the fuck over there. Let's show these fucking Italians how to munja. Let's show these Italians how to fight, right? Oh, you really just say that? Oh, I love you Italians. I'm Italian too. I'm just saying. I want to come over there and I want to get my hands dirty in Italia and I want to eat some cannolis with y'all afterwards. Why not?
Okay, before we call it an afternoon, do you have any message for the fans? Anything special you want to shout outs? Anything you want to get out there before we call it a day?
All performances aside, because this is a performance, it's not that I'm being fake. I'm just being energized, hyper me, right? This is also who I am, but I can also be very serious. If you are someone who is a business owner, a sales professional, an entrepreneur, a professional athlete, or even if you have a 9 to 5 and a salary, and you are experiencing anxiety, experiencing depression, or if you just want more motivation, more confidence, okay, you want more focus in your life, you want greater health, greater wealth, greater happiness, contact me. Seriously. I wouldn't be in this position I am today if it wasn't for the power of hypnosis, if it wasn't for the power of meditation, if it wasn't for the power of prayer. Okay? You are soul, act like it. You have powers that are in here. Use them. You can change your entire life by changing the way you think. And it takes 1 second to choose a new, better thought than the thoughts you've been thinking against yourself. You are good enough, meaning you are good enough to change. You are good enough to become better. Are you good enough on your own standards? You'll never be, because you'll never be perfect. But chasing perfection, pursuing perfection is perfect enough. Always strive to be better, and that is perfect enough. And if you believe in God, that's exactly what God wants you to do. When he says be perfect, it means continuously be better. And so I don't really have anything else to say other than that. And if you are a fan of BKFC, if you're a fan of UFC, if you're a fan of WWE, follow me, vital.visions, VID as in David Feldman, AL.visions, V as in Victor, D as in David, AL.visions on Instagram. And it's vitalvisions.net, same spelling, vitalvisions.net if you want to look at my website. And, all due respect to everybody out there that is a fighter and non-fighter. I appreciate every single one of you, and I love you, brother. You're the man. I love
Thanks.
BKFC Reddit. I love doing these podcasts, and that's the bottom line. Cause Vidal said so. Cue my fucking music. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. All right, we're
So
done here.
we will be talking in a couple weeks after you get your win, and we'll see where everything puts you. But yeah, I mean Philly to Italy, and who knows where after that.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And till next time. Till next time, brother. I don't know what else to
All right.
say, but Philadelphia, July 25th, 2025, 2300 Arena. I'm fighting on that card. Johnny Garbarino's fighting on that card. It's an amazing card. So if you're from the Philly area and you're watching this, come get fucking rowdy. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles! Let's go, brother.
All right, man. Have a good day. Thank you so much. Bye.
You too. Bye-bye.